Yes, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. That's me, by the way. And do please, folks, come on, like and subscribe. You know, it really helps. Anyway, I'm going to talk today about that shithouse that murdered them 3 beautiful little girls and attempted to murder 8 others and stabbed 2 adults and generally went start raving mad in Southport. And now, where is he now? He's in Strangeways, I believe, in HMP Manchester, my old haunt. As I used to be, as you probably all know by now, used to be a hospital officer at Strangeways and a discipline officer before that, pounding the landings and working down the block, which is where I believe Shithouse will be. Now the thing is, when you get a prisoner into the jails like that, notorious prisoner who's committed horrendous crimes, as indeed that little runt has, then they're obviously going to be seriously disturbed. He must have been seriously disturbed to do anything like that. And he'll be placed on what's known as suicide watch. All his records will be marked with an F, a red F, and the F stands fellow decide, which means self-inflicted death, risk. Yeah, he's at risk of killing himself, which we don't want him to do that, do we? Come on, hands up, who wants him to do that? Nobody wants him to do that. We'd like to see him spend the next 52 years suffering, because believe me, being in prison and isolated, under threat, watching your back all the way because you feel you're going to be attacked by your fellow inmates, then that is a terrifying life, and that is what Shithouse has got to deal with now. I can't name him, because naming him is what he wanted. He wanted to be famous. Well, young man, as far as I'm concerned, you are famous as a shithouse. Now he's in Strangeways, and the block is located on D1. So if you look at an image of Strangeways, the A wing is on the left, A, B, C, D, and D1. It's covered. It's a covered landing, D1, and it's like you've probably seen it if you look at the BBC documentary Strangeways, filmed in 1979 and screened in 1980. It was directed by Rex Bloomstein, and it shows the block, and that's where I believe this shithouse will be, under close protection and under the watchful eyes of the staff. Now the thing is about being on suicide watch, they leave a light on in your cell. Obviously the light on in your cell, not a bright light, but like a red light, so that they can actually look through the Judas spy hole and see you. And he'll be in there, and he'll be observed at least every 15 minutes. He'll be on 15 minutes suicide watch. He will also be in wearing strong garments. That's garments that cannot be ripped. So he won't be in a standard issue shirt or trousers and shoes. He'll have no shoes on, and he will have very strong garments, to just like a loose t-shirt top, but it's made out of very strong fabric so you can't tear it, and shorts, very powerful, very strong shorts, like a canvas suit, you know, but it's not a suit, it's just short trousers, and it's quite cold down the block. Now I'm sure your heart goes out to him, folks, does it not? Don't you feel sorry for that shithouse? No? Well, neither do I, actually. He's deserving everything he's getting. But he's got 52 years of this. And it will not be easy for the staff to protect him. Because one way or another, the people who are determined that... and these are inmates that appoint themselves as vengeful heroes, shall we say. bit like Charles Bronson, he's attacked over the years numerous sex offenders and nonce cases. If Charles Bronson got his hand on the little shithouse, he'd snap him into pieces and use his arm as a toothpick, because he's only a skinny little bastard. Anyway, that's where he is at the moment. I am reliably advised that he is banged up in Strangeways. Now, when I was there at the time, sometimes they put people who were on suicide watch into the hospital complex because they had padded cells in there. But more frequently for people who are high profile and considered to be dangerous, which I'm sure that due to his track record, Shithouse is considered to be dangerous, then he'll be held in a strip location on the block for a period of time while he's assessed. But my prediction for Shithouse is that he's going to be sectioned out of there into Broadmoor. Will we ever find out? I believe that we will, because it's such a high-profile case that the public will be advised that he has been sectioned. But when he goes to Broadmoor, it will not terminate his sentence, because he will just be serving his sentence sectioned inside the secure units at Broadmoor Hospital for the criminally insane. He may get sent to Ashworth, which is in Maghull, just outside Liverpool, and I have spent some time working in Ashworth. They each have their own cells. It's quite a relaxed regime, apart from the odd occasion when inmates decide that they're going to run amok, and then they get snatched very quickly by some of the big boys. Got the big boys in there. I don't think they run the hostess regime at Ashworth, so they've got big boys in there who'll hold them down and pump their backside full of Largactil. That shuts them down, you know. 2 or 3 days it takes to get over an arse full of that, and then you're prescribed Largactil after that. 10 mils 3 times a day, maybe more than that. 10 mils in a cough, which is not the right way to go about it, but who knows, when you're dealing with people who are as dangerous as that, you do what you've got to do. You don't want to be going home with a big jaggedy head cut, do you? I certainly didn't. I managed to get through it, and I believe that Shithouse is going to be held in those conditions until he gets Strangeways, until he gets transferred, and he will, believe me, that's how it happens. He'll be deemed a really hot potato for the prison service, and they'll want to dispatch him quickly into the confines of the criminal justice system that deals with those who are insane. And far be it from me to diagnose him, but anybody who would do anything like that little shithouse did is quite clearly, to me, round the bastard bend. Ding dong ding. That's the song dinger, by the way. And I know that many people, when they hear that sound, quake in their boots and head for the hills. I haven't heard from Larry the Goat Herd for a long time. If you're out there, Larry, send us a message. Please do all. Comments down below. Like your comments, by the way. And tell me what you think about Shithouse being on suicide watch and being transferred to a unit for the criminally insane. As I said, I've rung the song dinger now. You've had your warning. I'm now going to destroy another song. Although I will give it my best shot, and some people are actually saying they think my singing has improved. Well, I got a litre bottle of Jack Daniels, and I've been soaking my vocal cords in that. Delightful drink. I like Jack Daniels. This is a song that was originally recorded by Marty Robbins. It's called Big Iron. Yeah. So are we all sitting comfortably? Then I shall begin. To the town of Aquafria came a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip, for the stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw loose and running, came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business with a big iron on his hip. A big iron on his hip. In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 and 19 more. 1 and 19 more. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. Was an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead, and he said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red. After Texas Red. Wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. And the outlaw didn't worry, men that tried before were dead. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be the Ranger with the big iron on his hip. The big iron on his hip. The morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from the windows, everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome Ranger was about to meet his death. About to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the Ranger is still talked about today. Texas Red had not cleared leather, for the bullet fairly ripped, and the Ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his hip. A big iron on his hip. It was over in a moment, and the folks had gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have gone on living, but he made a fatal slip when he tried to match the Ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. When he tried to match the Ranger with a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. There you go. Big Iron, as originally recorded by Marty Robbins, and I've just shot it to pieces, folks. Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton.